I'm a dentist. I've been very frustrated for the last 3 years of being benched in the worst crisis of health in our history. As dentists, we've been asked to stay home because we were lacking masks and gloves. And something you have to know about me, I hate to talk about opinions. Everything I'll be saying, it's facts. Since I was benched, I was also very frustrated, so I started to go online and to reach out for other people like us. By 2020, I formed a group named the Alphas, which we have 2 members here. That group is now shy of maybe 150 members. We have entrepreneurs, we have presidents. Our goal in public times, since there was so many brain power left aside, it was for us to try to just prepare for what the authority was covering. Today, telehealth, teledentistry is something that everybody knows what it is. By March 2020, a month after being benched, that was illegal in Canada. So that's give you the idea of how fast this is moving. And artificial intelligence is just the next phase of that evolution. The book is named Leadership AI. We have 10 co-authors from 7 different countries. We have Dr. Demaraki, Dr. Singh from Germany, Dr. Ora Alva. We have from Cyprus, Dr. Georgia Avram. From Peru, Dr. Rena Faji. From the United States, Dr. Paul Dominique. From USA, Dr. Paul Wallet. We also have the privilege in this book to have Dr. Jean Dessert, which is a mentor of mine. In Quebec, he was the former head of EMA Quebec. That's the equivalent of the Red Cross over there. Also have the privilege to have Dr. Edward G. Zuckerberg, who is a forward thinker. He's the father of the founder of Facebook. So yes, we have a few excess. What is AI? Is it a friend or a foe? ChatGPT, it's a very odd word, but since this year, everybody heard of it. Let me just share with you some facts. ChatGPT, by May 2023, in the United States, have been heard or talked about by 58% of the population. So from the media, everybody heard of it and talk about it. It is free. It is the biggest platform out there. And yet, only 14% of the people have retried it. And that was by May 2023. That just gave you that there's a lot about AI that we hear and we talk about, and people mostly don't know what they're talking about. ChatGPT is by far the most popular platform. It reached 100 million users within 2 months. In the history of human, that was the fastest adaptation of technology. And yet, that's only one AI. By 2018, there was more than 500,000 AI. So by now, we are more than 1 million AI plus, and ChatGPT is only one. So the idea here is, what is AI? In a simple word, it's a tool. It's a very smart tool. It is a way for us to have access to very large data set. It's not what we think. It's just a way to go through a lot of data set, and with that, at ease, we can start making connection. There are 7 stages of AI. And if you follow the news, some of those words will be familiar. But the first stage was the rule-based system. You autocorrect. That's AI. Second stage, context-aware system. Hey Siri, that's AI too. So by no means that.
Go ahead.
See? So by no means that's dangerous, and everybody has touches already. Stage 3, which are close to what we are today, is we call the domain-specific mastery. So IBM Watson is one. In the pop culture, Deep Blue, the computer who beat Gary Kasparov, that's also an AI. Let's take a time to look at this one. So basically, what we have fed AI the rules of chess. Then we fed into AI all the figures of chess, and it started to make combinations. Those combinations, at a faster rate, beats human. But there's nothing creative here. It's just about connecting the dots. Today, we're at stage number 4, thinking and reasoning. So basically, ChatGPT, what is ChatGPT? They've been fed a lot of information, a lot of letters. It goes through and it will tell you which is the best letters coming out. So it's basically going through words and seeing what words will be matching next and what will make sense. That's the library. Why do you think that AI is free to use today? ChatGPT costs $700,000 a day to run, and yet today it is given for free if you don't want all the premium access. But why do you think they're doing that? And this is very important. It's the key to understanding AI. Let me just take a pause here. And have you ever heard about metadata? So it's the data that we're creating from data. If I put this in simple words, that's the behavior we have around data. If I show you something you like and you press, the metadata is like you like it, or how long have you stayed before you say you like it or not. ChatGPT can be downloaded on your computer. You can have a local version of ChatGPT, but it's basically worthless. Because the real ChatGPT, the value is it's between the data set that they have been fed and everything that we fed in return. And by what we're feeding in return, it's not what we write. It's how we react to it. So basically, today, AI is building on the metadata that we interact with the database. So if you understand, that's the library, which basically think of it as a Wikipedia. And now how we react to that data set will create a new data set, which will be creative and which will be what we are used to call AI, or artificial intelligence. Until now, if you go through this is just linking the dots. AI is not creative. AI is just going through the statistic of showing you what you like to see most of the time. The more they offer you, the more AI will be smart. I won't say it's a foe or friend. AI is nothing but a tool. Now, by number 5, which is called AG. So since the beginning of this year, people like Elon Musk asked to take a pause of AI for 24 months. What they were looking for is to slow down the arrival of general artificial intelligence. That they will differ. It's right from now. ChatGPT, we're the one putting the prompt in. We're the one asking it something. So we're the master. And doing so, we are starting to fit our behaviors. By general intelligence, what we'll be reaching is the next stage. It's AI can start do that without us. And again, it's not just, you won't need somebody to fit it anymore. That's the whole thing. It doesn't take any decision. It's not creative. It's just put a mission in and then start serving it. The closest we can have to that is for people who like Marvel. Jarvis would be that. So it's a super smart assistant who never complains. Who would like to say no to that? But number 6, this is starting to get more complex. It's the more we feed it into AI, the more he knows, or it knows how we behave. It will start to predict our behavior, and this is where it will become maybe a little more trickier. Because now, we're not the master anymore. It knows us, it knows how we're gonna react, and this is where AI will start taking decision. Now, number 7, nobody knows really what number 7 is. That's a singular stage, and this is pretty much the Skynet scenario. So AI taking over the world. That means that, you know how many things had to go wrong before that happened? AI today, it's a computer. Now we have to feed in every computer on the world. We have to feed in also all the resource to build its own, to replicate its own, and to take over us. It's a great scenario for a film. We are so far away from that. Let's go back to what we are today. Number 4. Basically, we have a library of content, a very big one, which we are feeding it our behavior. Knowing this, it's easier to know what is AI and how to work with it. I'm a dentist, but today I will not be talking about teeth. I will not be talking about gum, but I'll be talking about something much more profound to dentistry, the evolution of our profession. So we are at a paradigm shift. It's been now close to 40 years that we're into the information age. Yet in dentistry, we're so far away. We haven't even reached that set. Since COVID, and the proof of what I'm saying, since COVID, when we've been asked to stay home, telehealth wasn't working for us. We were depending on going back to our clinics to work. And from my history, back in Quebec, the way to communicate with my patient was through a phone until after March 2020. So we are very lacking behind. But now if you want to implement AI, which is information, what are we trying to solve? Everybody's agreed that we're too expensive, dentists and patient alike. After COVID, And please tell me, are we going to be more expensive or less expensive? Much, much, much more, right? Everything is loaded. So how much more can our patient bear? And by 2020, half the population, at least in the Western world, didn't have access to a dentist. The one who had all said that we're so expensive. The other half said that we were thief. The second thing is, by now, we don't have any centralized data. My apologies for all the professor, but everything that you're teaching is in books, it's in your brain, it's very fragmented. It's time for us to start coming together, because if we want to build on top of what we have, we'll have to start building that knowledge. It's our turn to build our Wikipedia if we want to have something built on top of it. Something else that I like to address, and this is pre-COVID, we are very inefficient. I'll be talking for, let's say, the Western world or North America. At every corner street, there's 4 corners, that's at least 3 dentists installed. So basically, we're all competing for the same patient. Now we're coming for the same staff. Usually, we think that the competition will lower the price. Look in the mirror, honestly. Have we contributed to lower the price in dentistry, being so competitive? Actually, we did the reverse. Since nobody is operating the structure 24/7, that waste gets transferred to the average mean of practicing, and the patient is receiving that. We are a profession with a lot of repetitive tasks, and we're labor intensive. That's nothing new. But since COVID happened, how easy is it to recruit, even with ChatGPT? So now we're fighting for the same front person. How much longer can we last? And basically, we're hostage of our own clinic. COVID shows that. Everything will bring to the fact that we are too expensive and things are just getting worse and worse. AI is the only thing that's going to help us turn that drastically. If we go through our history, and we're all about the same age, we've been through the invention of the internet. If we're still here, we miss out on that one. Then we miss out on the invention of the smartphone. This is the next one. On which side of the trade will you be standing on today? Now, back to dental. I'm be borrowing here words of my colleague, Dr. Zuckerberg. We talk about P. gingivalis. Everybody knows what P. gingivalis is, but more and more, there are links now between P. gingivalis and the rest of our body. It has been linked that P. gingivalis has linked with diabetes, cancer, heart disease, pregnancy problem, and I pass, even Parkinson and erectile dysfunction. Thanks to AI and the things that we're having, Dr. Zuckerberg is working with a few companies that are now taking saliva testing with markers, and with those we can predict who will be having what. So it's kind of the equivalent of a blood test for us, and it's starting. For those of you thinking that this is the future, it is happening today, it's happening right now. United States, they're trying to convince the insurance company that this will bring down the cost, not of dentistry, but of healthcare, since we'll be at the forefront of this. I read that information with Dr. Jean Dessert, which is the head of the Red Cross over there, and he agrees. So basically, all of us was looking for, what can we do to never get benched again for the lack of masks and gloves? This my bit. We have a way now to be doctors and to care for more than teeth. But that was thanks to AI. Without AI, that would not be possible. So it's happening now. So let's look at the market of AI. Numbers I'll be showing you are coming from PwC. And it has been evaluated that by 2030, AI will be a $1.8 trillion market. Just to make sure of the numbers, that's $1,800 billion market in 7.5 years from now. If you want to compare the App Store, so 15 years ago, Apple created an iPhone. While most of us were lining up to have that new gadget at $800, Apple was charming programmers to start programming on the apps. Basically, they needed people to prove them right. What can we do with the internet in our hand? By the end of last year, Apple alone reported a sale of $1.2 trillion. AI It's projected to be 1.5 times the size of Apple, but in half the time. 7.5 years compared to 15 years of Apple. So whatever we're talking today about AI, that you pro or con, this is happening as we speak. The only question is will you be driving AI, fitting into the way that we need it to go, or will be buying what tomorrow will bring? The closest we are to AI today in dental is Invisalign. That's the only company with enough data set to start training new AI on top of it. And again, what we're going to be doing, know that Invisalign is not even owned by dentists. So basically, if we are claiming a place on the table, and we've been through many discussions of leadership with a lot of influential people, don't expect anyone to invite us to the table. We have to make our place. We have to take our place. Global medicine is one, and AI, with that help, we can start steer things in the right direction. Now I do have a surprise for you. Since I'm doing that a lot, and that was numbers that came out by May 2023, because I have concerts to give in Hungary, people from my team have to redo those numbers by July 2023, because we have another conference to give. By July 2020, PwC, so the same company giving us the estimation, they revised themselves. They're now projecting AI to be a $15 trillion market 2 months after. Those are gross estimation, but that tells you where the wind will be blowing, in what direction, and what to do. Before I get into the conclusion, because right now I'm here to say, what can you do on AI? Let me share with you a personal story. By 2008, I was lining up at Apple, not to program, but to buy that smartphone. I was so proud that I was one of the first ones to have an iPhone. Then I realized that I was standing in the wrong line. But even today, what would have stopped me to stay on the right line? I'm a dentist. I don't know how to program. So basically, I'm doomed to just consume. That's pretty much what you have in mind. For people who use ChatGPT, what is ChatGPT? It's a big language model. You speak to it in your native language. So basically, you know that programming, it's also talking. It can translate everything you say in English from whatever language we need to program in. Let me repeat that. ChatGPT removes the technical barrier of programming. So basically, you can program ChatGPT in English, in Albanian, in German. Now you have no excuse that we don't have access. And I'm using Apple as a comparison because the success of Apple has been to create an army of programmers that they don't have on their payroll to program. The trade was 30-70. They keep 30%, and whoever programs and sell it keeps 70%. If you put that back in context with AI, the trade of AI today, it's almost nothing, and you charge whatever you want. You don't have that technical barrier of programming. All AI wants from you is your knowledge. How can you apply AI on your niche, on your market? So $15 trillion is not a new market. It's basically eating up everything else that we're touching. That's the part of AI today. So with this, I'd like to finish with one thing. September 2023, AIIMS got the 100 most influential AI people. Here's the list. I've been through that 3 times. You have founders and CEO, you have investors, you have artists, you have filmmakers, you have professors, you have politicians. When everybody agrees that medical will be a huge part of AI, just take a guess with me. How many doctors do you think are on that list? Medical doctors. 0. There's nobody in that list in the medical field. And yet everybody agrees that the medical field will be a huge part of AI. What does that tell you? With the breakdown I just made you today, I hope that you're going home tonight and you lose sleep. If you want to have an access to the future of a profession, you want to drive in the right direction, you want to lower the fees, that's the way to go. What we're doing right now is trying to build the first collective database in dentistry. I did vouch to find some relevancy through COVID, so I'm trying with my friends to find ways to lower the fees in dentistry. So this is a bold claim. Doesn't mean that we will be successful, but through AI, we'll have a chance. You are all welcome to join us. Whatever we do today, start with one person. And you think that you can make a difference, then somebody else will join you. We have people from all the continents. We have professors with us. We even have former head of state with us. So if you believe in it, people will join. I matter, we matter.